And we're live.
Did you center me there?
Yep.
Hey, hello everybody. Bill Quain. Here's our, I don't know, what's our fourth or fifth, maybe
Fifth
our
week, yep.
fifth week of doing the student tours and everything and having a great time. We've had some great guests on the show. Several presidential candidates have been here, which have been nice. Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton have stopped by. It's been terrific. Pope Paul, don't forget next week is Pope Francis, and then we're going to do a tour of world leaders. Oh wait, that's another webcast we're doing. I'm sorry, I got confused. So, hey, we got two students today with us, Kelly Prince and Christine. She just told me how to say it. Nikkei. And they've got some great stuff prepared for you. These are top of the line students, so we're looking forward to getting a hold of them. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do their two presentations, and then stay tuned if you're live, because I'm going to start talking about your final project a little bit and showing you a presentation graphic package that we want you to use for it. And if you're watching this recorded, we're going to separate that off actually and make it a separate video, so you'll see that. All right, so who did we decide was going first?
Christine.
Christine's going to go first, so let's bring her up live here.
All right, 1 second. I just have to share my screen. All right, Christine, go right ahead.
Okay.
Hi, Christine.
Hi.
So now, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're working.
I am working at the Sheridan. It's in Atlantic City, as you can see. I'm doing the marketing and sales intern, and I absolutely love it.
Great.
Fun.
And who's your boss over there? Who did I meet from MPI?
Allison.
Yeah, terrific person. Wow.
Yeah, she's. I have a few bosses, I guess.
Okay.
So.
Good.
Yep.
So take it away.
Okay. So as you can see in the picture, that's where I work. It's in Atlantic City, and right across from it is the convention center. And this is a picture of the convention center. Typically, what happens here are there's a lot of shows and conventions, obviously, and most of these shows and conventions are typically 3 to 4 days. So people are always looking to stay, and they always stay at the Sheridan. And there is a bus that is like $2 if you want to go somewhere else outside of the Sheridan to AC. And inside the Sheridan, there's a bunch of Miss America gowns and crowns and wands, and this is one of the crowns and wands that are on display in the Sheridan. And I just want to talk a little bit about what's actually inside the Sheridan.
Christine?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, my daughter, who's a senior here at Stockton, she's doing her internship at the Miss America company.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And
Awesome.
so she's been over there a number of times. But that's a pretty cool thing.
At the Boardwalk Hall?
At your place there, she's been over to the things over there too. So.
Oh, okay, awesome. So Margaret Gorman was one of the first Miss Americas, but she wasn't actually called Miss America at first. After like the second pageant, because it was kind of awkward. They didn't know what to call her until like the second winner. So they finally came up with just Miss America. And she is from Colombia, and she won in 1921. That was our first Miss America.
Wow.
Another important Miss America was Jean Bartel, and she was from California and won in 1943. She's important because she introduced the scholarship program, and as you know, I don't know if everybody knows of the Miss America scholarships, but they're awesome, and I'm not exactly sure what who can win them, but I'm sure it's like pageants and everything. Lee Merriweather, she is also at the Sheridan on display, and she attended college in San Francisco as a radio and TV theater arts major. Jane J. Rowe, she won in 1967 and was from Oklahoma. She was the first woman elected as the chairman of Oklahoma Academy of State Goals and is on the executive committee for the University of Oklahoma Breast Health Institute. Phyllis George, she won in Texas, or she's from Texas and won in 1971. She became one of the television's first woman sportscaster. She has written 3 books, and she was also one of the 50 greatest women in radio and television. And Susan Aiken, she is from Mississippi and won in 1986. She is a spokesperson of the National Down Syndrome Association, which is really cool. And then this is our latest Miss America, who won in 2016. She is our 95th Miss America pageant. She is from Georgia, and she is one of the first since 1953.
And she was just here, right? She was just in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Starwood, now talking about the Sheraton again, Starwood owns the Sheraton and 7 other companies, big companies, all worldwide, nearly 1,300 properties in 100 different countries, approximately 188 employees, and its owned and managed properties. Starwood is a fully integrated owner, operator, and franchisor of hotels, resorts, and residences. And as you can see, these are all the different type of hotels that they own. And Starwood is huge. It's probably one of the biggest corporations, which is really cool.
It's even bigger now because just announced Marriott.
Yep. This is the beautiful staircase at the Sheraton, which I absolutely love, and it's very famous for pictures and everything because it looks very unique, and it is, as you can see. This is the lobby. Above, as you can see, there's a piece of artwork, and it represents Atlantic City, which is actually really cool. It's hard to explain because it really is just like a bunch of random things from Atlantic City just thrown into this piece of artwork, but it's actually really cool if you can see it in person. And there's a lot of really neat and cool artworks all around the Sheraton. And this is just a bigger picture of the lobby. And this is one of their boardrooms. There's about like 6 to 8 boardrooms, and they all vary from different sizes. And there's typically like an area where you can have food because most of these meetings are quite a few days or a couple of hours, so they typically take breaks and have food and everything. And this is the entrance to the vacation gallery. This gallery was actually built a few years ago, I believe, and it costed over like $1 million to make. So basically what they have in here are like big events and like weddings and so on. And this is the inside of the gallery. As you can see, it clearly costed a lot of money. And in the middle is a huge fish tank, which is actually really cool. And this is the gym that you can go to if you are staying overnight or during the day, whatever it is. And right connected to it is the pool. And if you want to go in there after the gym, I guess. And then to the second floor, this is where most of their events happen, their big events. And it's important like that you see like everything. Like I love this picture because like you can see the whole area of the second floor and where everything happens. But here is another ambassador meeting room on the second floor because this is like basically where they talk about their events, like what's going to happen and everything. And then the Boulevard's Cafe. This is typically open for breakfast and like brunch. So I think it closes around like 12 p.m. or 1 p.m. But it is a buffet, and you can also order food if you'd like. And then right outside of the Boulevards Cafe is the shoe bar, and is shaped like a horseshoe, so they call it the shoe bar, which is pretty cool. And this is the Pearl Ballroom. This fits up to 200 to 400 people, so this is the smaller ballroom for typical small events, and yeah, just small events. And then the Crown Ballroom, this fits up to 800 to 1,000 people, and it's really, really big, as you can see. And if you look at the top, there is like sections where you can actually make the room smaller if you want. Like if you just want to fit like 500 to 600 people, you can make the room smaller, which is really cool. And then Ton Tavern is actually connected to the Sheraton. So if you want to go out for a late lunch or dinner, you can go to the Ton Tavern, which is connected to the Sheraton, so you don't have to actually leave the property, which is very helpful. But you can also walk down the street and find other restaurant if you'd like.
Christine?
Yeah?
The Ton Tavern used to be located in Philadelphia, and then they moved down to Atlantic City. Do you know what military branch was founded there?
I don't.
Yeah, the U.S. Marine Corps was founded at the Ton Tavern.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's neat.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, so also what I do is help the housekeeping, because I need help with that too. So I don't just do marketing and sales. I help with the housekeeping. And basically what I do is check the rooms. So I just want to show you a few rooms that I actually check and do. So this is what the rooms look like. They have a picture of the Miss America pageant who won that year, and they have coffee in the room, and they have a closet, obviously, safe, cutting board, and hangers. And then in every room they have a desk, because most people who stay here are business people, and they need somewhere to work, so they have a desk for them. And then your typical complimentary water and ice bucket. And then there's a TV and microwave and refrigerator in most rooms. There's always a TV in the rooms, but not in every room there's a microwave and refrigerator.
Christine, do you have a checklist to work from?
What was that?
You have a checklist to work from for keeping your index?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up a little. I can't hear you.
I'm not sure what's happening. Yeah. Do you have a checklist that you work from in checking the rooms?
Yeah, I actually have an iPad that I'll show you in a second, but I have to like check off things that, like, if I see that are broken or dirty or just not supposed to be there, I have to like write it down and like check it off to say like, hey, this isn't supposed to be here. And after I am done with the room, they come up and clean it or do whatever they need to do. But this is the bathroom. Obviously, it's all clean. As you can see, it's all prepared correctly. Towels, toilet paper, and everything that needs to be there. And this room was the standard double room. 2 beds, obviously, queen. And then this is the Club King guest room. As you can see, there's a desk and TV. Everything that I just showed you is typically in the King guest room. And then the next room I'm going to show you is the hospitality suite, which it's called the hospitality suite because there's a area where you can invite people and have like a smaller meeting because of the chairs and table there. You can have people come into your room and have a smaller meeting instead of actually renting out a bigger room and having a meeting. So this is why it's called the hospitality suite. And this is the shower, the bathroom for the suite, the desk area you can put your stuff on, the lounge area, And this is their refrigerator, microwaves, and sink. And then the bed in the room. And then I wanted to show you a video of basically what I do when I am checking the rooms. Can you see it?
Yeah, can you make it full screen?
Full screen, yeah.
Thank you.
Is this going to have audio, or
What was that?
it's going to have audio, or are you going to do the audio?
I'm going to do both.
Perfect.
Keeping.
So as you can see, that's the iPad I use. And I had to put in the room number and check the availability, which is declined as present. And I had to go down to the housekeeping one, and that shows the housekeepers like what is wrong or if the room is good. And I just had to basically check and make sure everything is in order for the rooms, make sure everything's clean.
I'm going to show you the video later with my intro.
And then I'm just making sure there's no dust anywhere. And I have to check all the drawers in the room. And obviously make sure everything is working, like the light bulbs and phones. And also when people are looking out the window, I had to make sure there's no smudges because people like put their head up against the window. And across, as you can see, is the convention center. And I have to check under the bed, make sure there's nothing in there, under there.
You ever find any bodies?
I find like a lot of cups and sometimes a few weird things, but nothing too crazy, which I'm actually kind of surprised about. And since I found that room kind of dusty, I just, as you see, I'll put in the iPad that the room was dusty.
And that could have been because it hadn't been rented in a while.
Yeah, basically, yep. And there's 500 rooms in this hotel. So some nights they actually sell out, which is actually awesome.
I've stayed there a couple times, and that is a very clean place. They take really good care of that place.
Yeah. The housekeeping actually asked me, they were like, how do you feel about the rooms? I'm like, it's actually very clean. Like, I feel like I would definitely stay here. It's very clean. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, it's very clean. So
that's good that they're asking you, because some places they would resent you for checking on them, but which, I mean, every hotel checks on their people, but
yeah,
that's a good sign. That's a good sign of that organization.
Mhm. And that's basically it for that video. And for my project, I am actually like helping and reading contracts for the turnovers for 2016. Basically, what I had to do, what they use is called Isaac, and it's on the internet. And basically, what I have to do is take the quote ID that's highlighted in black and copy that and put it into Isaac, and it comes up with the event that is happening. And I have to go into that event and see if there's any contracts that need to be signed or plugged into that event to see like what kind of like contract they have with these people who want this event to happen at the Sheraton. And basically I just had to read the contract and see if they want to know if like there's a deposit required or a cancellation, direct deposit, a rebate, a percentage off the master room or rooms, if it's commissionable, and they just want to know that because when they go to their meetings, they can be like, okay, for this event it's commissionable, or they have a % off. Like they just basically at the meetings, it's important to know all this stuff, and I'm helping them basically get this information distributed easier without actually having to go into Isaac and read the contract separately.
Wow, that's really something.
And basically what I have to make sure of is that all of these contracts are signed, because if they're not signed, then the contract is not like happening, or it just hasn't been approved yet. So that's basically what I have to do for my project. And also I had another project that I did that I didn't put on here because I actually did it like a few months ago when I first started. And basically what I had to do was they gave me a few companies or a few businesses in Atlantic City, like restaurants, and they had me compare like prices with them, which was pretty neat. So I had to call these different companies and get in contact with them and see how much their beer and liquor and food was. So that was very interesting and difficult at times, but I liked it. It was fun. But that's basically it. That's the Sheridan for you.
Well, that was a nice job.
Thank you.
Can you turn your volume down?
What was that?
Turn your volume down.
Yeah.
That's why we're getting that feedback there. That's great. Thanks. That was a very nicely done tour there.
Thank you.
A lot of good information, and I really liked that stuff with the checklist on the iPad and the way you captured that. That was very good information. Like I said, I'm gonna show that this afternoon in my intro to hospitality class.
Okay. Awesome.
Nice job. We're just studying hotels right now, so nice
Okay.
job. Wonderful. Do you have any other comments you want to make, Christine?
I don't think so.
Does anybody out there in I don't know if we have people on live or not.
Yeah, we've had a bunch of people checking in while the
Okay. Anybody want to ask Christine a question before we go on to Kelly? Yeah, they do the same thing to me in class, Christine. So. Well, actually, you're one of the people that doesn't ask questions. No, I'm just kidding. You.
I tried.
You look. I always look at the door, never at the teacher. All right, great. Well, thanks. Very excellent job. Very proud of you. Love it. Love it.
Thank
Love
you.
it. Super. Oh, Amanda, did you put your face on the screen there to say hello?
Oh, no, but you can't see us right now.
Oh,
Anyways,
okay.
we're sharing
Okay.
our screen,
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So let's go to Kelly now. It's Kelly Prince.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Kelly.
Share the screen. Okay, so I work at the 11 Howard Hotel. It is a new hotel that actually we just opened this weekend on Friday, April 1st. It's located in Soho. And so it's a 221-room boutique hotel located in Soho. We're like streets away from Chinatown, Little Italy, so it's in such a great location. It's owned by RFR Realty co-founder A.B. Rosen. He owns a number of hotels. He owns the Gramercy Park Hotel in New York City, the Paramount. He has hotels, one in Miami, one in Tel Aviv, Israel, two in Germany. So yeah, like he owns well-known, really nice hotels. So the design team behind the hotel was led by Anda Andre, and again, that's a really big name. She's done a few hotels as well as restaurants, and like big names. And she worked with Space Copenhagen, so that's you'll see when I show the pictures of inside the hotel. It's very like Scandinavian design. We do partner with the Starwood Preferred Guest for rewards, but we're not a Starwood property. So essentially, we are able to honor their points. They can redeem points with us, but they don't sign up with us at like the desk. Like usually, if you're a Hilton or even just a Starwood hotel, like the guests can come in, check in, and if they want to join, they can join through you. But we don't have that. They'd have to do it online because we're not their property. We just partner with them. The architecture design was enhanced by Bayer, Blinder, and Bell. because they added on to the old hotel. It was originally a Holiday Inn, and they completely redid it. They changed the entrance of the hotel from being on Lafayette to Howard Street. They added 4 floors to it, and so Bayer, Blinder, and Bell are known for their architecture work with restoration of the Empire State Building, Grand Central Terminal, New York City Hall, just to name a few.
Hey, Kelly.
Yes.
Do me a favor, turn the volume down.
Put the volume down?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Oh, okay.
That way we don't get the feedback when I talk to you. Now, you said that they changed the entrance of the hotel from one street to another. Do you know why they did that? Because is that one street a nicer looking street, or is it easier access with cars, or?
So essentially, the whole thought of it was the street that Howard Street is on. It's more of like old Soho, and like we're trying to like the owner like wants to bring old Soho back. So that's why we changed the entrance, because Lafayette is like a main busy street and it's partly part of Chinatown. So Howard Street though is in like Soho itself and very like what Soho used to be like. So that's why they changed the entrance.
And can you explain Soho to us a little bit, please?
Like the area?
Mm-hmm.
So Soho is basically the fashion district of New York City. So it's a lot of you'll see like it's a lot of like high-end retail stores, art galleries. It's a really very art neighborhood, I would call it. It's a lot of like creative architecture that you'll see in Soho, as well as like restaurants. It's its own unique culture down there.
Yeah, it's really a pretty cool place.
Yeah. Yeah, Soho it's really cool. So essentially like our motto or our mission statement is conscious hospitality. So like if you go on our website, you'll see like that we're conscious hospitality. So every part of the hotel was approached with a purpose and thoughtfulness for the guest experience. So like our location, I said, like the intention is to bring back old Soho from just like the location of it with like the art, the Little Italy, like all that, like just to like have an experience for the guests. Also, it's through the service. I mean, like the team that they brought together is so diverse. You have people who have been there 15 years because like Frank, that he's the head of engineer department, he's been in like the hotels that were like previous before. So we've like kept him on. So he's like a veteran, and then you have other people who've been there for 8 years. And then you have everyone new who came in, and some of them have never had hotel experience, but they've worked food and beverage, and they'll be working the front desk. And it's just they wanted to bring a team together that was very diverse and had like a lot of character. And that way, when we serve and provide for the guests, it's like a very different experience. Also conscious hospitality through the design. So as I said, it's a Scandinavian design that's traditional but has a raw and industrial timeless nature of New York. And so the thought behind the design was, as Andre had like quoted, it's not about being fashionable or trendy, and it'll never feel dated. So the 2 pictures on the bottom are from the room. I have more pictures of the rooms later, but so those are just like little touches. The one on the right's the bathroom, and the one on the left is just like the side table. As you can see, it's very like light colors, modern, very soft kind of look. And then in the corner, we have a lot of art throughout the hotel. So this is a piece from Danato. It's hung above the spiral staircase that we have in the lobby. And it's called Complicated Animals, and then as you can see it says we are just complicated animals. So A.B. Rosen is a huge art collector, so in all the rooms and the space throughout the whole hotel, there's a lot of like big art pieces from Hiroshi Sugimoto, is in our library. In each room is a piece from Katie Yang, which I'll show you later. So yeah, art, like again with the design and the location, it's very like well thought out. And lastly, for our kind of like conscious hospitality segment is social consciousness. So this is really cool. This is like one of the first hotels to do this, is that we have a huge give back factor if you stay with us. So we work with the Global Poverty Project, which I'm not sure if you guys know what that is, but at their Super Bowl halftime show, Coldplay actually works with the Global Poverty Project, and that was like essentially the huge event that the halftime show was about, was the Global Citizens Festival.
Remember that, yeah.
Yeah, so what's cool is that their whole thing is that by 2030 they want to end extreme world poverty. So if you book directly through us, a percentage of the booking goes to the Global Poverty Project, and it's about like 5 to 10%, which is a pretty substantial amount, I would say. Mm-hmm. And then the other charities that we work with is Conscious Commerce. So in our rooms we have a mini bar, but it's not like, what's cool is that it's not filled, like you can fill it yourself. But essentially what Conscious Commerce is that they believe that like each vendor, like whether it's like Poland Spring or like any like food and beverage vendor, should have like some give back factor. So if you buy from them, they then like will like give back to some charity. So it started by Olivia Wilde, and what they essentially do is they like give the stamp of approval as to, like, that if you buy from this vendor that they have a give back factor, and that works into the next one, which is Thrive Market. So all our items in the mini bar come from Thrive Market, and Thrive Market is Conscious Commerce approved. So all their items have the give back factor. And what's great with Thrive Market is that it's all healthy, nutritious foods, and it's like a membership program. It's done online. And the way they have their give back factor is for each membership that you buy, they donate a membership to a less fortunate family, so that they are able to buy like healthy foods that are cheaper than retail price. So because we have such a huge membership with them, they were able to give back to other families. And then lastly, for like in the minibar aspect, we work with Feed, which started with Lauren Bush, who went to Africa and saw how children in schools, they weren't getting like meals, and how it affected their like success for later in life, that like, you know, just like not being fed, it really hindered their like attention in school. So we bought feed bags from Feed. So essentially, like when the guest buys from the minibar, we deliver up to the room in these feed bags. This isn't the exact one that we have in the hotel. Ours is like especially for like 11 Howard. It says 11 Howard on it, and we were able to work out that it feeds 11 families, so it like goes with the theme of 11 Howard. And lastly, which is really cool in this picture, is we worked with Groundswell, which is an artist group that work from New York City that works with teens and young adults, and they do murals throughout the city that have usually some like meaning. So they have a lot, like I know with in Brooklyn they have a mural about like the ability of getting healthy foods, and then they did one in Planned Parenthood in Brooklyn. In one of the Brooklyn Planned Parenthoods. So this is on the side of our building. They worked with artist Jeff Koons as a mentor as to the design of it. So it's supposed to be the silhouette of a woman, and you can see like little pieces of like what represents like us. So like not us, but like the area. So you'll see like the fork with the noodles, and that's like Little Italy, and then there's a dragon up there. And then the silhouette is the woman herself, which represents, you know, the fashion in Soho. So it's really cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah, so that's our whole social give back. Next, so the food and beverage. So this is the second floor lobby area. This is called the library. So this serves as a communal space for guests and neighbors, so it's open to the public. So we have small plates, coffee, later we serve cocktails. So we essentially like want it to be a social hub for, like, if we have somebody who's like an app designer checking in, and then we have, like, we know there's a graphic designer, like, we want people to like meet and really like collaborate together, and it's just like a creative space that like we hope becomes like really useful to our guests as well as like neighbors and like other businesses in the neighborhood. So the front desk is located in the corner of this room, and that's we have two areas for check-in, which I'll get into, but this is the one upstairs, which is a more traditional check-in where we have the laptop and like the full system. So the second is the Blond, so that's our exclusive bar and lounge and nightclub. So it's open to the public 5 to 9, and then after 10 p.m. it becomes an exclusive guest list, and even our guests aren't guaranteed to get in. And it was open before the hotel was open, and it's been open for about now I would say it's 3 weeks, and it already has a large buzz around New York City as being the place to be. So that's really exciting. So there's a lot of press on the Blonde and like the bar itself.
Kelly?
Yes.
If you're in the 10 o'clock and you're not on the list, you have to leave?
Yes.
Whoa, very exclusive.
Yeah, it's very exclusive. Yeah, it's so exclusive our guests aren't even guaranteed, but I mean, we're still working with the staff as to like if they're not busy, if they'll give us like slots as to like, let's say 10 they'll allow in that night, and then if they request, we'll try to get them on the list.
And what about for your professor who has your control of your grade?
I will do my best to make sure that you get in there, but
I'm very hip.
no guarantees. But yeah, I'm not even allowed in there, mainly because I work there, but I'm pretty sure if I didn't work there, I would never get in, so. But it's a really beautiful space, so, like, I always, like, peek my head in and such.
I just need room for me and my posse.
Yeah. So then we do have a restaurant that that's going to open in May. It's owned by the famous restaurateur Steven Starr, and he's well known for his restaurants such as Buddakan and Alves. And so the Starr Restaurant Group is in collaboration with the Paris chef Daniel Rose, who owns his famous restaurant called Spring in Paris. So Le Coucou, it's like means like the cuckoo bird, which comes out in spring. So it's like this cool like parallel to his restaurant that he has in Paris, like the Spring and the Le Coucou. And it's going to be a classic French restaurant that has a modern twist. So my position that was like essentially the background of the hotel, so now I'll get into like what I do. So I'm called a creator of guest experience. So essentially I have 3 roles. So I am the bellman/doorman. So I'm responsible for greeting guests at the door. We take care of valet parking and luggage assistance. I am concierge. So I am in charge of all guest inquiries, if they want to book a Broadway play, if they need reservations for a restaurant, if they need transportation from the airport, if they want to order flowers and they want it delivered, like we take care of that and we can put that in. And then I'm a front desk agent, so I take care of the check-ins and check-outs and essentially every part of front desk and concierge, like that's my job. So what's cool about this is that each shift you're that one role. So for that day you'll either be the bellman or doorman or the concierge or front desk agent, either upstairs or downstairs. And I'll get into how we have like 2-part check-ins. So it's nice because each shift, like let's say I was the doorman and a guest comes in, and then the next day I do concierge. So now I'm now working with that guest who checked in, and I'm helping them make their stay better. And then the following day I'm a front desk agent, so I check them out. So now I got to become part of like the various parts of the guest stay. So it's really cool, like being integrated into like different areas, and you're able to like really get to know the guest. And so yeah, we're called creators. So this is the lobby. This is where they would enter through. So this is so these two pictures are the lobbies. And then that's the staircase that I was talking about. That leads upstairs directly where the Blond is, and that's through that door. If you can see my mouse, that's where the staircase is located. So essentially on this table we have iPads that would be available for self-check-in, and also we have iPads ourselves if we're set to work in the lobby where we can do a check-in. So it's really cool. It's called Stay in Touch, the system that we use. It's a really simple system. I actually have a video of like how to use it, but this is the setup of what the check-in would be. This interface that you see on the right is only if I'm checking the guest in. Right now we don't have the interface set up for self-check-in. That's something that's supposed to come in the next month. So right now we only are available to do check-ins ourselves. Not the guests can't do it yet, but essentially they would like get an email prompted like sent to their phone, and like it's this whole thing. But so this is what I would see if I'm checking in a guest. So it shows my arrivals, if they did a pre-check-in, my stayovers, departures, if there's late checkouts, the VIPs, and then the bottom is the upsell, which is like if they're coming in and they're in a Howard King, and I'm like, oh, you know, we do have this great suite available, and we try and upsell them. So like that's the target goal that we have on the bottom. And then I have the video of how check-in would work. So this is me. I'm checking myself in, and let me just pause it quickly. So it's a really simple, like clean thing, like easy to follow. So this shows my check-in date, my checkout date. So there's one guest. I'm there for one night. Usually there would be a credit card payment. And then it's the room that I've selected, so I'm in a Howard Queen, and then you'll see as it goes on.
If that's for me, I'm here.
So then this is how you choose the room. So the green means that the rooms are available and vacant. So I already had the room selected, but that's how it would work. And then if we had upgrades available, on the side it would come up and like be like, oh, for $50 more a night, you can get a Howard suite, da 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 da. So that's really cool.
Cassandra has a question.
Kelly?
Yeah.
Cassandra has a question here.
She says, what's the system called again?
It's called Stay in Touch. If you can, Stay in Touch is a system. And so here I didn't have an email or phone, so it'll prompt you to add that, so that way for when they're checking out, you're able to email them their folio, and I just ignored that.
Excuse me, Kelly, just in case some people don't know, tell them what the folio is, please.
So the folio is essentially the billing for their stay, so it'll have their room rate on there, if they bought anything in the room, like as room service, or even from the bar and charged it to the room, that will all be on there. So yeah, it's just essentially their bill for their stay. So right now is when you would swipe the credit card, but I didn't have a credit card, so I just go with no swipe. And I was trying to show you on the side, that's where the credit card is. I was in the thumbing closet and it was really dark, but right here is where it prompts you for the guests to agree to the terms and conditions. So right now is when I would be showing them the iPad, and they would agree to it, select agree, and then they would sign their signature, and then I would select complete check-in. And then I would ask the guest how many keys they want. And I had trouble holding the camera doing that because it was on the thing. So what's really cool about this is our attached to the iPad is a scanner for the keys. So our keys don't have a magnetic strip. it has like an encoder in them, so we no longer so we just have to touch the key to the back of the encoder on the iPad, and it'll read the room onto the key. So it's really quick and easy, so I'm not trying to swipe a card or anything, and like we actually usually have them in like a little like paper case, and so we don't even have to take it out, it reads it through. And I show you on the back, that's the thing. It's really dark, I'm sorry. That's like how the closets are. I was in the Bellman closet doing this, but yeah. And that's a check-in on the iPad. And so that's the first floor. So now the second floor, as I was saying, like library, in like the first corner, this is the concierge and front desk. So we have downstairs for like simple check-ins, but if a guest wanted to split the bill, like have 2 different credit cards or something, this is when we would use our Opera system. And Opera is a fantastic system. I don't know if anyone's ever worked with it, but it's really easy, and like it's really great. So what's cool with our concierge desk is we use Go Concierge, and it's our way of like making a schedule. Like, so if we book something for a guest, we can put it into the system. So I have a video of how that works. It's really easy, and what's actually better about it is it prompts you how to like if I'm looking for a restaurant. If I'm looking for a restaurant or something, I'll show you in the next video. I can like search restaurants in like Italian, and it'll give me a list in the area. And then as a hotel, we can select hotel preferred, like what we should recommend to a guest. So here's like the screen and what it would look like. This is from like really old, because when we were doing practices, this is what we were using. So this is the schedule for the day. So it's Miss Johnson. She has transportation set up for the airport. So you can double click it, and this is her information that comes up. So it shows you the date, when, the name, the room number, who we're using, like the information. So she booked for an SUV. She has 8 people. She has 1 of 2 requests, and so it's like it was requested by myself. So it's a really great way of keeping track of what bookings that we have. So that's that, and then I'll show you quickly the system as to like how to search for things, because this is like really great. So like this is the vendor, so if you know the name you can search it, but the category, I mean it has everything. It's not just restaurants, like it's like right there's dance, dentist, department stores, like everything you can need. And yeah, sorry. So I went with a Brazilian restaurant, and it gave me and it gave me a list of like the closest nearby. And OT shows that it has Open Table, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with, that you're able to reserve it online and use Open Table. So that's a really great tool for us. So yeah, it gives you the name, and if I were to select one.
Kelly?
Yes.
If you book through Open Table, does your hotel get a kickback on that?
Yes, if we use the same account, like we rack up points.
Good. I don't mean to say kickback. I don't mean to imply a negative thing, but you know, some sort of commission or whatever on that.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. But yeah, if we all use like the same, we have a certain email that we use, and then it'll go through that. So then this gives like the information. Sometimes like there'll be notes in there, like let's say from us, like, oh, like really great place, but on Saturdays impossible to get a reservation, don't recommend for Saturday dinner. So like that's really great that we can add our own notes, and like it helps us to like not make it easier on ourselves.
And what's that called?
Go Concierge. It's a website. So yeah, it's a really great tool to have as a concierge and like keep track of everything. So that's that. So next, which is really cool. So in our hotel, instead of like some places will allow you to rent bikes and such, we actually have boosted boards, which are motorized skateboards. And I took a video of myself playing on it because, well, not playing, practicing. It was all for the, yes, so we were able to show the guests. So yeah, this is me on the boosted board in front of the hotel. And yeah, it's so cool. And it can go really fast, and like that's the they can like rent it out for the day, and we have waiver forms for them to sign and such. And actually what I was wearing was my uniform for being a doorman, so it's really cool. We get to wear bomber jackets, and so yeah. And then lastly, these are just the different room types I just wanted you guys to see. We have 11 different room types. Because the hotel has been very exclusive and hush-hush as to like the pictures online, and I myself, like, I wasn't allowed to really take a lot of pictures. These are the only ones that are online, and like we have really cool rooms. Like we have rooms that have a terrace, and they're beautiful and like magnificent. Like, and we have a penthouse suite which is called the 11H suite, and it's amazing. It goes for like $5,000 a night. It's stunning. It has like a kitchen, a dining room, a living room. It's only a 1-bedroom, but it's magnificent, and it has a terrace. So it has like a wraparound terrace because of how big it is. But right now the rooms that I've shown are, this is our corner studio, so it's in the corner, so you get really great views. This is the Howard King, and then this is the Howard Double. And as I was talking about the artwork in the room, that right above the bed, that's Katie Yang's piece, and she actually placed them in the rooms herself, and they're all placed in like different spots because each room is like has its own like variant, and she wanted it to be placed a certain way so that the way like the light hits it and shadows hit it, like, it was very an artistical thing to do. So that's a really cool fact. And yeah, that's my presentation.
What do your room rates start at this time of year, Kelly?
For a Howard Queen, it would be $300 a night.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. But they're probably gonna go up just because we just opened. Like if you look in May, I was looking online, I think it starts at $500. Which is
yeah,
crazy.
I'm not surprised because 300 just seems awfully low.
Yeah. So
now, I don't need the penthouse, but I'm thinking a nice corner room, and me, and there's usually 10 people travel with me for the Blond, and I'm ready. That was a very nice presentation. Boy, that was really well done. I especially like the artistic way that you changed the light by standing in a bell closet. So were you doing that live? Or was that the video that was in the bell closet?
Oh, no, that was the video in the bell closet.
Hey, listen, a great presentation. Wow, you and Christine, that was fantastic. I'm going to show both of these today in my intro to hospitality class. Just outstanding.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. All right. We're going to mute you, Kelly.
Okay.
And listen, if there's anybody watching this live, how about giving us a HI-5 for Kelly and Christine. That was a great presentations. Yeah, they've all been great. I'll tell you something. You guys have done a super job. Have we gotten any high fives here?
Nope.
Yeah, okay. Well, it must have going to finish us off watching this later on. But hey, listen, terrific job, the two of you. We went kind of long, which is fantastic because we had great stuff here. So what we're going to do a separate video and send it out to you guys about the project, so you can watch that. That's all for today. Amanda, are we on the screen here?
Yep, we're on the screen.
Okay, we haven't done our logo here, so pop your head in there and just say hello.
Hello.
And we'll see you guys next week. Great job, everybody.